Unlocking Marital Bliss.
You're so much welcome once again to Unlocking Marital Bliss with Miss Iris Rod. It's always a pleasure to have you tuned in to the number one station, the biggest network in the land. Thank you for tuning in and choosing to be part of this. This is where we always declare, and we want you to understand, marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. Never forget that. Marriage is easy, ignorance is hard. Now, we've been doing a series, actually, we taught the other time on how to bring bliss into marriage, and we were talking about nagging and nagging spouse. Okay, and the question came in, do men nag? Okay, because when we were still talking about it, we had to come in and do a part two. So you got to follow us on YouTube for a part one. You got to follow us at times. I mean, it's going to change your life on social media, and you get all the details that are very much needed. Never miss. This is the number one show in the land. You want to build bliss in your marriage? This is where to be. Never look anywhere else but here. This is where to be. Okay? Now, the question is, do men nag? Yes, no. What do you think? Do men nag? Because it's been stereotyped, women nag. And in fact, most men will step back and say, when a woman begins to talk, don't listen, she's nagging, shut down, she's nagging, shut down. And you know, you won't even listen to what she says, because culture has told you that women nag. You can't even have a healthy communication, because you think every time she opens her mouth is equivalent to nagging. That is very wrong. Tonight I bring the question, do men nag? We want to build it up from there. And I want to ask you, give me the answer. Do men nag? When I get your answers, we'll be right back.
How do you understand the term nagging?
Well, to me, the word nagging is this kind of spouse who is not ready to let go. Who's not ready to let go of certain issues in a relationship, for example.
It's complaining of this, complaining of that, small things, complaining instead of sitting down and talk about it. So someone who does that, I would refer you as a nagging spouse. Yeah.
Both parties can be nagging. It doesn't have like one side that it's only a woman who is nagging, but even men are nagging sometimes.
I believe that's not true. The biggest share when it comes to nagging is always on the side of women. You know, women naturally are so talkative. They talk a lot. Men are not comfortable. You know, a man will speak one thing at a time, sit down, think about it, but a woman will speak that, talk the other one is telling you. A woman can tell you 10 things at a go.
For any relationship to work, you have to first of all understand your partner. Because if you understand someone, it's easier for you to deal with him.
If you find your Eve, she can always not nag you. But if you find your Adam, he will not nag you. But if you have a wrong person, definitely that person will be nagging to you.
Abantu tusulidde Katonda. Ojja kwesanga amaka agamu. Katonda tumumanyi ne tetumutegeera ebintu ebibiri bya njawulo. Oli amanyi Katonda era agenda ku Sunday n'asaba naye tamutegeera.
You can't start nagging your spouse at home when there is respect. Yeah, number one thing, we have to respect our spouses at home. Yeah, even if someone is doing something which is really nagging you, you have to be with at the back of your mind, you have to be with respect. Yeah? You have to think that after nagging this person, what is this person going to think about me?
If I came home late and I didn't communicate to you that I was coming back home late, but I later came back home,
it's good that you call your partner and tell her, you know what, honey, I might be late because of ABCD.
Stop talking about it every time I make a mistake. You're like, that's why you always come late.
But if you come back home and she's still quarreling, yet you informed her, then there is a problem there.
You have to bear with your spouse's weaknesses. If a weakness it has rise up, you have to know how to handle it.
Yes, this person nags, but what are the good things? What are the good things about this person? If those good things are like, let me say, 80%, and the nagging is 30% or 40% or 50%, then you go with the 80%.
Putting everything in the hands of God, okay? Praying. If your wife is nagging, pray about it.
if you fail to address it like that, you go back to your knees and you're like, God, please fix this. Because in the first place, I don't go into marriage just for sex and all that. I go into marriage because of purpose, because it has to be purpose-driven. That is when you're going to have a successful marriage.
Buli lwabeerawo communication kuba communication empuliziganya kasitebulawo obuzibu jja kujja sooka oyige communication munno omuddamu otyo oyogera otya naye communication kyekintu ekikulu.
Number 1 with patience, number 2 with trust, and number 3 with God. Because God is everything. Please invite God in your homes. God is peace, God is love, God is trust, God is confidence, God is everything.
Ekisooka kwekwasa Katonda, ekyokubiri communication.
Sometimes you communicate and the communication becomes a problem. You're like, honey, you know, I may reach home like around 1. Okay, it's okay. Be with your women out there. You're like, how I wish I didn't communicate.
You're so much welcome once again. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss. I've listened to your views. Do men nag? Do they really nag? Yes, I can see how many of you think. And the beauty about it is you're watching Unlocking Marital Bliss, and we're here to provide concrete answers. We're here to provide the real facts so that you will build upon them. This is based on the Word of God, so that you will build upon these facts and absolute truth, and you will have bliss in your marriage. So now is the moment, and now is the time. Without further ado, I have my usual suspects. We heard them the last time, and they are in the house tonight. To my extreme left, I have
Brian.
Brian.
Glad to be here once again.
Thank you for coming in. Once again, I'm asking, are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What's her name?
Angela.
Angela. What's the best way to pronounce that name?
Angie.
How do you call her?
Angie.
Angie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Angie. So is she hearing that? Can you say it in the camera?
Angie.
Good. Yeah, that's Brian, and you heard him so good. And to my immediate left, I have the only woman on set. She's amazing.
Winifred Zizinga.
Winifred Zizinga.
Yes.
Zizinga is a household name, your daddy's name, I understand.
It's my husband's name.
It's your husband's
yes,
name.
Yes, it is.
You're married?
Yes, I am.
And what's his name? Zizinga.
Barry Godwin Zizinga.
Barry Godwin Zizinga.
Yes.
Something like Barry White, huh?
Barry G.
Okay. You heard her. He's called Barry G. Now,
Sounds like a
Barry
musician.
G. Okay.
Yes.
That's Barry G. And of course, I'm a married man too. I'm the happiest married man. I don't know about the rest of these people on set, but
We'll tell them.
okay. But it's so good to have you on set this very day.
Thank you.
And the last time we were talking about nagging, and like you've had, that yes, let me tell you, we have a lot of response from people. In fact, before you all come to this, allow me to pull up some responses here.
Please.
And our viewers, we really do appreciate you, because there's so much. Many of you are saying we are learning.
Yeah.
We are understanding. This whole show is life-changing. And I was at a function the other day. Some people were celebrating 10 years in marriage, and they invited me to speak. And there were people who watched the show, and they were just all over themselves.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, it's you. I say, yeah, it's me. And there was a man and the woman who came up and said, our marriage changed because of the show.
That's right.
Our marriage is at a different level because of the show. So they say, we want to keep pursuing this show.
Yeah.
Please never stop. We are learning so much. And you can imagine when the husband and wife are all testifying how their marriage has changed, how they keep on taking lessons in.
Great.
But look at this. It says, there's one here, especially after we did the nagging. This one says, my husband nagged, moved with all losers, did a PhD, bought properties, but remained empty. Then he resorted to physical violence. I packed my bags and left. It's 9 months now, and I'm so glad I left. His anger was uncontrollable. Thanks for the show. Do men nag?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Thank you for teaching me that nagging is either way. Man can nag. And then one says, yes, men think women are the sole bearers of peace and expect them to stomach their negative behavior
Yep.
to create peace, which is wrong. You get that? Which is what?
Wrong.
Wrong. Now there's one over here. He says, hello, I'm Titus. I have been following your program of Unlocking Marital Bliss on UBC TV. So how can I get the book of Unlocking Marital Bliss?
Yes.
Frankly speaking, your program is great. It has changed me into a better man.
Wow.
This is Titus, into a better man. Can you imagine? It has changed
Wow.
me. Dudes, there are guys that are changing. So you might think nobody's changing. People are changing because of this program. And hey, surely he wondered where to get my book, Unlocking Marital Bliss, and he received a free copy.
Oh,
He didn't even buy it. He received a free
Nice.
copy
Nice.
that was delivered. And so, Titus, to the rest of you, real soon, free copies are going to be around. You don't have to spend money. The only charge is that you have to act upon the truth.
True.
That's the only charge. And then over here, oh man, there's so many. Let me just pick up this and then we roll. Hi, I was watching your show today and I got interested and I'm gonna learn from it. It's a great show. And it says, I'm in South Sudan on DSTV.
Wow.
South Sudan.
Amazing.
South Sudan. You know, all this is happening, and we come into the way this show is changing lives because that's our target. We don't want to just come here and blah 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 and do a lot of talk with no absolutes. We tell you exactly what is going to create bliss in marriage. And look at the feedback, just a few of what we could read. The feedback, the show is changing lives.
That's right.
Tonight we're talking about this, we're going deep into it. Do men nag? First question, yes or no?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
They do nag. And they have stages.
They have
a man,
stages.
A man starts with nagging, then gets to control, then he gets to violence.
Thank you.
So a woman may just nag.
What is nagging?
Winnie.
What's
Tell
our
Pastor what
definition
nag
over
is.
here?
Continuous.
Finding fault. I wanted the woman to tell you.
Yes.
It is continuous finding fault.
Nagging is not correct. Correct.
No, it is not.
Thank you.
It is continuous
Finding
finding
fault.
fault.
Yes.
According to the nagger, there is nothing to appreciate about anything.
Now, on the flip side, for the man,
Okay.
it's more so of power struggle. Now remember that when the scriptures in Genesis 3:16 going down, I think part B, it talks about and he shall rule over you.
Yes.
Now remember the chapter does not stop there. It continues down.
He shall rule over you.
But the male species chooses to pause right there.
Even in our churches.
Even in church today.
Yes.
And this stems way down from culture.
Exactly.
You see how Christianity, or being a Christian,
Yes.
has accommodated the culture.
Yes.
And we've merged the scriptures into culture.
Exactly.
That we teach it,
as if it's
we
scripture.
inscribe it,
As
we
it's
even
truth.
punish the male child to have dominion or dominance.
Yes.
Think about a scenario where a boy is growing up in a family or in a home where there are girls, and the dad is watching him on the sidelines. The sisters are probably correcting him, telling him how he should live.
Yes.
And some of these parents, the men parents, they'll call him and say, hey, that's not how a boy behaves. That's not how a boy is brought up. So this man grows up knowing that this woman's species is actually not my equal.
Yeah.
Even in the roles at home, work ethics, speech, conducting of a male versus a woman, the male is taught from way back, way down, that he's more in control, more in charge, more dominant than the female species. So imagine a man like that getting married. He's telling himself in the back of his mind, let me get myself someone who is good. We did help her. I don't want to go there, but we did help her.
Yeah.
Let me get someone who I'm going to have dominion over, who I'm going to tell what I need, and they will do.
That's true.
Okay.
Because many men don't like to marry a woman with a PhD. You don't want to marry a woman who is higher in ranks than you are. You'd much rather.
Marry somebody that is
Yeah.
can be dominated.
Yes.
So the moment this
Who
woman,
not question.
Who'll not question whatever you bring in.
so the moment you get married, the moment that they are in one space, in one home,
Yeah.
the man begins to show control because he's so afraid to love.
Absolutely.
He instead substitutes the being patient, the being kind, the being tolerant, the waiting, what love describes,
Long-suffering.
long suffering, to having control. So the relationship transitions from relating to rather an instructive kind of relationship where you have a dictator and subjects.
Yes.
So the man comes and speaks and he expects results. Now, most nagging men want to control the way you think, the way you feel, your belief system, your response, and your thought pattern.
They control you.
They control you.
Yes.
Everything about
Now, the
you.
moment the woman steps up and says, it's not going to happen this way, why don't we try this way?
How?
Violence.
That's when they transition into violence.
Violence. Yes.
So the man does not only nag,
Yeah.
he transitioned the nagging into stages. That's why you see some men will beat you
And they think they're being a
and
man.
they think they're correcting. Remember, nagging does not correct.
It
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Nagging
It
only
doesn't.
finds fault.
fault.
Yes.
That's why you see the woman will not change or the spouse will not change
Because of
you're
nagging.
just nagging.
Because nagging has no power to correct.
Think
No, it
about
doesn't.
this. If someone wants to tell you something important, and instead of telling you directly that I left the food in the fridge or we do not have tomatoes at home, they start by saying, I wish when you were traveling to come back home, you thought about, didn't you pass any markets? Weren't you seeing people buying tomatoes for other people? I mean, they're trying to tell you, we need tomatoes. Usually that does not help correct the mistake. It only makes the person bitter who is receiving.
They make you feel small. They make you feel low and guilty. If a nagger will always try to make the other party feel guilty because that's the only way it can soothe their own guilt and their own low feeling and their own rejection by making another feel guilty. Winnie,
If I start from
Men Nag.
Men Nag, if I start from
And you've
where
heard what Brian has said.
yes, I want to start from where he stopped in the last show. He spoke about this man, this ideal home, where the man picks up the wife and there are things that are not right. I saw you with your boss. What were you talking about? If we had got home early, we wouldn't be cooking right now. I mean, here I am in his car, all the way from UBC.
They picked you up.
He's picked me up. And he's going on, oh, I saw you with Pastor Cyrus.
And before you were, when he came, waiting in the car,
He's been
and I
waiting.
stayed talking with you.
Yes,
And he's waiting in the car.
he's waiting in the car.
So you jump into the car.
I jump into the car.
Uh-huh.
Why are
First
you
question.
late? I've been here 30 minutes waiting for you. And you've been standing there 30 minutes speaking to Pastor Cyrus. You don't value my time. So you apologize. By the way, women do apologize.
We can demonstrate this right here.
Go ahead.
So I
Go ahead.
apologize. I
So-
said, Brian, I am sorry.
So does sorry buy back the time that I've spent waiting for you? Didn't you know that I'm supposed to be here by 5:30?
There was something important he was trying to tell me.
Can't he call you? That's why we have mobile phones.
It could not wait.
You know, you women, you don't value time. You don't value anything. Each time that this is the last time I'm picking you.
Fine.
Now all the absolutes have come in just
In a few minutes. Like, it is done.
now it's over. You're
Yes.
never gonna pick her up
No.
again.
No.
Now, in other words, this nagging now is not good enough. You're going violent now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now
You're going violent now.
Now,
And then you'd ask, do you think his wife would make him wait?
well, that's a question I
And
can't
now
even
that's a
answer.
way of making you
Yes.
feel guilty.
Exactly.
That is
You know?
Exactly.
And this is a man nagging.
Yes.
This is-
Wants
yes.
the woman to feel guilty.
Yeah. True.
I love this. Go ahead.
Now we get home.
Uh-huh.
He's struggling through the jam. First of all, he's struggling through the jam. He's jeering and everything moving.
Wouldn't have made this jam if you had just got in the car 30 minutes ago.
Mm.
Usually I pass here before this jam gets here.
And I am
And you're quiet. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
The only thing I will say, I said I'm sorry.
No, sorry does not help me. It doesn't help me. Look at the fuel.
Watch the man nagging.
We are
My
using a lot
goodness.
of fuel in this jam. Do you calculate that?
Can I add in some more fuel?
That's not what I'm saying. You think I don't have money?
So you have
I
this,
love this.
conversation,
This is so real, you know?
Yeah.
and then we get home, and he'll put his stuff there, and I'll make him tea. Most probably make him tea. And I start with the food, and the kids are all over the place.
So what is this? This you think I can't buy myself tea?
And did you marry me too? Did I marry you to?
You think I can't buy my, you see, you spend a lot of time talking to other people instead of minding what I need.
Brian,
Do you
I'm
know
sorry.
what I need?
I said I am
No,
sorry.
do you know what I need?
Oh,
I
So
know
in
the
this
number one
picture,
need of a man.
in this picture, you're making me tea. This is a way of trying to make me feel that you're sorry. This does not cut it. This
Oh my
tea does
God.
not cut it for me.
my goodness. Men nagging is just horrible. My
It is.
God, they just can't shut up.
Now I am disarmed.
In fact, from today, I'm going to call Pastor Cyrus and tell him you cannot be on the show anymore, because this is not how a home runs. This is not how I didn't marry you to be on the show.
So now
Oh my God.
the next time you call Winnie for the show, she will tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't come, Pastor. We have some things at home that we are doing."
What are you doing?
Brian,
massaging the nagging.
Yes, I'm massaging the
I
nagging.
love this. And now you are massaging the man's nagging.
Yes.
You are justifying his behavior that is
Now.
totally nonsensical and ridiculous.
Now the way I know Pastor Cyrus,
Building.
he will Winnie, can I see you? It is a must. And because I am under your authority, I will come. As a Winnie truth, I'll say, you know what, Brian told me not, and I have to be submissive. I mean, Winnie, this is not submission here. What exactly happened? Can I see Brian? Brian doesn't even want to be seen. I mean,
No, I may show up, but I'll be at my best behavior.
Yes,
Say, well,
Brian
I
will
was
show up
having
and
a
he'll be
bad
at
day
his-
work.
Now-
I was just, I'm sorry.
You have
I'm sorry.
someone to
then-
blame.
Yeah.
yes,
And
then
not yourself. You
and
don't
then
take responsibility.
after some time, Brian will, one day he will pick me up again and he'll go and I say, Brian, you do not speak to me that way. What I was doing is important. It is not because it is, I'm not valuing your time. It is important what I was doing. That is why I took long.
And now you're talking to Brian.
I am talking to Brian.
Uh-huh.
And Brian will go, hey,
Wait a minute. So now you've now risen. Now you feel you're so important.
now, that,
No,
Oh,
because
God.
people out there are watching you, so you feel you are a celeb. I am going to call your parents. They pick you up from here,
that is-
reculture you in who a woman is supposed
Oh
to be in
my
a home.
God.
Brian, you are very quarrelsome. And that is
Oh, now
quarreling.
I'm being quarrelsome.
Yes, you are. It is not edifying me. It is not even showing grace.
I'll show you what they do. Andrew, can you imagine this woman is telling me I'm quarrelsome? I'm coming over.
And
And
the coward
out.
walks away.
And the cow, absolutely.
And the coward walks
Walks
away.
away.
Oh no, dude, that's cowardice. And you
Now,
walk away.
I have
Because he can't handle truth.
truth.
He can't take responsibility for wrong.
No.
And you know one thing men need to do? Men love to be right, but they hate taking responsibility for wrong. But
It
you
is
can
absolutely
never be
true.
entrusted with right until you can take responsibility
For the wrong. Yes. And for me to speak to Brian and tell him, Brian, it is unbecoming of you to quarrel with me all the time just because I'm 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. Imagine in that way, we are not even going to communicate in the car. I mean, maybe what you're telling me is very important. Absolutely, it might be very important. Not even might be. I'm not talking about these women who slay. No, not the slay queens. I'm talking about people who value time. I will not make my husband stand out there while I'm just here doing nothing.
Just slaying. By the way, just to interject, well, I've had this whole talk of slay queens, and everybody want to slay. The word slay means to kill.
That's right.
Okay? So these are killer queens.
Yes.
Okay? And then you're proud of it, and dude,
they're killing status quo.
No, they're actually killing some people.
They're killing a lot of people.
I don't think
slay queens. You don't slay, for God's sake.
There are slay kings before you attack the queens.
Yeah, I'm
there
coming
are
to
They're
them.
slay kings.
Yes.
Oh my God, no, that's for another day. Slay kings and slay queens. Okay.
Yes. So
conclude
now,
it up.
when I'm speaking to Brian, I am unveiling the mask behind which Brian is hiding to keep nagging at me. Brian, this is unbecoming behavior. You do not speak to me that way. You speak to me as your equal. And Brian is calling Andrew. And they're going to lament together.
Look at these cowards. Full
He
of
is
self-pity
running
and
away.
carry on a pity party.
Rather than sit down and listen. And even when you speak to him, you see the way we're speaking back to each other. Even when I speak to another, he's going to speak back to me until I am
shut down.
And he sits on
Let
the
me
can.
put it this way. Let me put it this way. For a man,
shuts you in a can and sits on it.
Absolutely.
Remember that they are stuck on rule over the woman. So it's a thing of power struggle.
It's a thing of power struggle.
It's a thing of power struggle. So a man, because of the fallenness,
Yeah.
he's always thought that I need to do something to show God that I can make it, I can come back to that place.
I never fail.
I never fail.
I never fail.
So it kills the dependence. Listen, a woman's office, if we go through scripture, a woman's office is she's a helper. The part that the scriptures talk about the Holy Spirit, someone who is help you to direct you, to push you in his book, to push you when you need to go, and to help you, to pause you when you're going wrong. Now, when there is power struggle, and the man is seemingly in tune to get that power, he is going to start to sap you, to kill you, to to control. Now, if that doesn't happen and you come out like you came out, then you plot a coup. Now, you remember when we said we are equal?
Yeah.
Instead of him realizing that we can equally yoke together upon certain things, he will plot a coup, your downfall. That's why I call Andrew, so that I go get fallen wisdom, come and bring to implement. I never get wisdom from God.
That's true.
It's always fallen wisdom that I bring back to implement and see if it will work. If it doesn't work, I go back outside. But actually, I'm a coward. I'm so insecure because I can't deal with the situation straight up. Remember,
you're so ignorant. You don't even know how to deal with it.
Now, he has denied me his car. He's not going to pick me up.
Yeah.
He doesn't want me on the show either.
Yeah.
So if I come to the show, let me call my parents to pick me up. He would much rather. So when I'm stuck in a taxi, I will get home at 11 p.m. maybe. And then say, see what kind of woman I have here. You are destroying your own home.
And I'm making you feel guilty. And as long as I make you feel guilty, you won't be able to stand up against me
you will not.
any other day. You won't be able to stand up to me.
I will not.
Man, we need to fix this. I know our time is running. We're going to just take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're still watching and locking marital places.
And locking marital bliss. Unlocking marital bliss.
It is so wonderful. Once again, we just took a break and we're back. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss. And the question was, do men nag? Yeah, we really have found it out that yes, men do nag. And in fact, their nagging is all about control, and then it turns into violence. In fact, any man who raises a hand against a woman, or a woman raises a hand against a man, it's all violence, and it's all rooted in nagging, and it's actually rooted in fear. I call them cowards. That's the way it happens. Can you imagine you got pants on, you got a suit on, and you're a coward? Oh my God. You drive a Land Cruiser, but you're a coward? You got a mansion, but you're a coward? What have you gotten in life, boy? What have you gotten in life? I want you to take this so seriously. We want to break it down so you can be able to understand. Yeah. I'm still with my usual suspects, Winnie and Brian. Now look at this. Before we took a break, when you were still bringing this out and you said so, he even waits for you, you get home and begins saying, now you see, you call yourself a superwoman. And then he quotes the scripture, hey, look over here. You destroy your own house with your own hands. But in reality, he's just making you feel bad about yourself. Can you imagine you make a woman feel bad about herself and then you turn around and ask for sex? What do you drink, boy? What are you drinking? I mean, whatever it is, drinking or smoking, I don't want part of it. I don't want part of it.
It's called control.
They're drinking on control?
It's called control.
Oh my God.
Because then I compress you, but then I control you into what I want you to do.
Actually, we get down to the root of it.
And when it's not working, when you're controlling and it's not working,
violence comes in.
And it's all rooted in fear. Every man that punches a woman is a coward.
Yeah.
Because he cannot handle love. You see, love is not for wimps.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Love is not for slay queens. Love takes work.
It takes work.
Love takes work.
Not for the
That's why you
faint-hearted.
say, I mean, instead of, it's easier to nag than be patient.
Yeah, it's easier to nag than be patient.
It's easier to nag than be kind.
That's right.
True. Than
Than
suffer
suffer
long.
alone.
It's easier to nag than to suffer long.
Because I can't wait for you.
I can't wait for you. It's about me. It's about me. So when I'm not getting my way, I use my hands.
How many times do I have to tell you this before you get it?
Well,
So I can't
And
wait.
that is
hey,
belittling.
let me say this. No person should ask that question in marriage.
Yeah.
No person should ask that question. Never ask your spouse, how many times do I have to tell you this before you get it? Every time you're asking that, you're literally saying, I can't be patient. In other words, if you tell them more than once, you begin showing them how it's done. Rather than telling them, you use actions. And
You
say,
begin showing them
you
how
begin-
devoid of
That's scripture.
That's what many men do, and many women. I begin to show you how devoid of thinking you are.
No, I must show you how there is a final picture of who Winnie is. And by the way, I love you to get to that final picture. I know you missed this, you burnt the food, but I understand. Let me show you how this is done. You put this and this, you mix it this way, and you keep the fire at this. I am being patient.
The guy in the saucepan.
Yes.
Do you know that the food can burn?
He will not.
And then you'd call, Rabbi, I smell something.
You smell something?
Yeah, but I smell something. Check in the kitchen. You're the remote, just controlling the TV, but you smell something.
You see, that's where that's how cowards behave. They live in fear. They live under fear. You see, a controller believes that they are controlling others, but actually they are controlled by fear.
That's right.
Controllers are
They are
subject to fear.
To fear, yes.
And because it drives them, they become violent.
Yes.
They become violent.
And the nagging is for both men
And women.
Not only
men.
Not
How do
only men.
women nag?
Not only women.
Women,
Even
definitely.
women nag.
Women nag.
Tell me, how do women nag?
Women,
Now,
gosh.
let's see. Women nag?
Love,
Yes, they
love,
do.
Love, I'm sorry. I saw your message you sent me so that I buy the medication for the
it's
little-
become a habit.
Um,
If it's not if it's not time, it is. Now look at this glass.
um,
I gave you water an hour ago, it is still full. You see where you put your phones.
So where can I put them?
Don't you know where we always keep them?
I mean, can't I just relate with you without having to
The
argue?
money you left me was not enough.
Is that
I only managed to buy. You gave me 20,000. I only managed to buy food,
But
and
I-
a kilo of meat is 12,000.
I explained to you that that's the money I have.
And well, then what am I here for? You brought me from my mother's home and my father's home, and you said you're going to look after me.
But when we're relating, before
Isn't it biblically written that a man should look after the woman? What am I even doing
Oh
here?
my God.
I can't take this anymore. I feel that each time I'm with you, you're always upset.
Yeah, you're running away.
Yeah,
That's what
so
you always do. You keep running away.
I just want
you
to
go,
have,
go.
I want to have
you go,
peace.
go.
Oh my God.
When you're ready, you come and eat your
love this.
food.
I love this.
Yeah, so you
now
see.
this is a woman.
Now that's a coward guy.
nagging. Oh my God. And the coward is ready to run.
Right,
And
absolutely.
she uses the very weakness
Yes.
against him and says, you always run.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
always
God.
run. So when the women begin, he is cultured. Remember the first show we said that his daddy tells him, women when she's leave.
And I've seen how cultured he is.
Yeah.
You know, every
you
time he
see- you
tries.
see-
Every time he tries to speak,
Yeah.
he's shut down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut down.
Yeah.
Totally cultured because
Yes.
Mama, Papa told him, you shut up.
Yes.
Yeah, you
And I
shut up.
follow him to the bedroom,
Oh my God.
bathroom.
Oh my
And
God.
usually this happens when the woman is probably well-to-do sometimes, or she's well-educated.
Yeah.
Now you'll find a man who is so much of a coward
Yeah.
because of the status of the woman.
Yeah.
So their relationship was based on the identity of the woman rather not
the woman.
the woman herself.
Yes.
So naturally, if she nags me and I'm a coward,
Yeah.
I paint this picture, I go somewhere in my mind that, well, this is not her. I'll come back when she's sober and we'll start from there.
Denial.
That's denial.
Yeah.
So usually it comes from, remember when we talked
coping
about the
mechanism.
peace within?
Yes.
So
is
I
the
feel
peace
I would rather travel to a place
and gather peace.
in my mind and
Yeah.
be there and paint a picture of who she is, and I come back when I'm thinking but women are connected. They always they don't lose something. They are always connected.
Yeah.
When she leaves it at this point, when you come back,
You start at that point.
we'll start from there. And that's what men don't understand. So if this woman nags me, I have to stand and listen. So what is she saying?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
The money you left was not enough.
Okay. So you see, I'm
In
not
fact,
running.
the more you become listening
Yes,
and honest,
Yeah.
the more she doesn't have much to say.
exactly.
True. But when you
So
keep
when
running,
when you keep running, and you see men run with their mouth, because I can't speak. You heard what I was demonstrating.
Yes.
I thought so. I'm actually running before I actually run. So, but if I
You're
stand my
not
ground,
there.
I'm not there, and I say, listen,
I can only respond to one thing at a time.
listen. I can respond to one thing at a time. I've talked about the medication, which I skipped my mind. I've seen the message as I drive down here. Well, you do this all the time. You do this all the time. Say, listen, these are my children. I'll give everything for them. I've seen the message down here, but this is simple to operate. I am just going to go back to the clinic and get the medication.
I'm going with you.
Fine, let's go
awesome.
together.
Now, you know what she said? I'm going with you. Now, you know what happens? As you're speaking that, she's silent. She's beginning to realize
The mistakes.
the mistakes. Not only that,
Yeah.
but she's beginning to realize this guy is attending to me.
He's not a coward.
He's not a coward. He's attending to me. So I have his attention. In fact, most of what I'm babbling is nonsense.
True.
You get it?
Yeah.
The man is explaining. So all of that is beginning to happen. So what are you doing, Brian? You're expressing patience. You are showing love.
Yeah.
You are showing kindness that she might come with cruelty, but you respond with kindness.
Pause right there. A nagging man does not have the grace to show.
Absolutely.
What you've said is what exactly, a man watching us right now they don't have that grace to show
To
love.
humble themselves. Let me say this. You say they don't have the grace.
No.
But you know where this whole thing comes from, or literally roots out of? Let's look. You quoted the scripture, Genesis 3:16.
Yes.
And you said, and the man shall rule over you.
Yes.
Actually, that is not brought out as a blessing. That is brought out as a curse.
That's right.
You get it?
That's right.
So man ruling over woman is not a blessing. It is not biblically correct for man to rule over woman.
That's right.
God never created the man to rule over the woman, and he never created the woman to rule over the man.
Yes.
He created equals.
To
And
have
when he
dominion
created
together.
equals, to have dominion together.
Yes.
So equals are having dominion together. When they sin, now the man is so afraid, he wants to have dominion.
Starts to name.
And to dominion, he wants to dominate the woman first.
Yeah.
Because when he sins, fear comes in, he's insecure, he's afraid, he's guilty, he feels rejection. Notice, he rejected God,
Yeah.
he felt the rejection.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Men that reject God think God will feel rejection.
No.
Rejected. No.
No.
They feel the rejection.
Pause, but there's a men who read the Bible. We're
Listen.
talking about men who read the Bible.
Yes.
Listen what he's saying.
Yes.
Because God is love. Our rejection does not cause him to shake.
To shake. He still loves us.
Yes, he does.
But we feel rejected. Because we thought we could give. We feel what we give.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get it? If I give rejection, I'm actually going to feel rejection.
Yeah.
If I give love, I'm going to feel love.
That's right.
If I give cruelty, I'm going to feel cruelty. So this is what happens. Adam comes in and he hears, and he shall rule over you.
Yes.
But notice, your desire shall be for your husband.
Yeah.
And he shall rule over you.
That's right.
That word desire is going to be found in still Genesis chapter 4.
Yeah.
I think it's around verse 7, where God speaks to Cain and says, hey, sin is around the corner and wants, desires
To, yeah.
to have you. In other words, it's a desire to control. This is what happens. After the fall, they've been equals.
Yeah.
But now the woman wants to control, wants to have him,
Yes.
and the man is saying, I ain't taking that.
Yeah.
I'm going to rule.
Yes.
And the woman also wants to say, I'm going to rule.
Yeah.
Now the battle of the sexes comes in.
That's right.
Now the man takes the lead.
In fact, let me just pause there a little bit. In fact, he says, this woman you gave me. In other words, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, if I had ruled over her,
In the first
In
place.
the first wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be in this trouble. And isn't
Please.
this what all men are saying? Most men are saying.
Exactly.
Yes,
You see,
that's
my
what they-
home would be good, but my wife, they blame, they never take responsibility.
No, they don't.
Men need to know that if you have a successful home, you're to blame. And if you have a failed home, you're to blame.
right.
I love to say it that way. So you're to blame for everything. Take responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, the man, here the woman wants to control, the man
man
is
wants-
ready to rule, wants to also control. And in fact, the man takes the first step.
Yeah.
God tells him, this is what is going to happen to you, A, B, C, D, E. And instead of the man saying, forgive me, what does he do? He works up, after God speaking, he's like, God, be quick, shut up, I'm ready to take over
Yeah.
the reins.
Yeah.
So when God goes quiet, Adam names the woman. Adam was never given authority to name his wife. Never.
people
But
need
he
to
was given
understand.
authority to name living things.
He was given authority to name living things, not to name his wife. His wife has the same name like Adam has. It's Adam.
Yeah.
Adam means red dirt.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're man and woman, but they're all man, Adam. Now he names the woman Eve, meaning mother of all living things.
Yes.
Adam had just named animals single-handedly. Now he goes back, he says, I'm going to use this a name. When you name something, you have authority over it.
Over it. Yes, that's right.
So now Adam is claiming authority over the woman.
Yes, but before you go back, you go there. There's something you talked about earlier. What was Adam's first name of the woman when he saw her?
When Adam saw the woman,
Wow.
the
He was
first,
mesmerized.
he was shocked. He was mesmerized.
I
is
think
the
that's
word.
that's the dating part.
You don't- no, you don't
when you
need-
see some.
you see the glory of God, you're like, finally, you know?
Yes,
This is bone of my bones.
absolutely.
Flesh
Nigerians
of
have
my
names for a
flesh.
word. Nigerians have names for a, like the name you can like. The Lord is great, and that is your name. But that was what Adam named his wife.
Equality.
Yes.
Bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. But after the fall, now power struggle comes in. Before, relationship was being conducted by love. Now it's conducted by power.
With hierarchies.
I feel
That's
right,
where hierarchies come in.
I feel
And
right now you are
structures.
talking to a couple
Yeah.
where they're both high capacity people.
Yes.
The woman is working a high job
And the
and
man.
the man is working a high job.
Yeah.
So right now what is happening to them, they're probably watching right now.
Yes.
What is happening to them is that they both have the ability to nag.
Yes.
They are getting at each other's faces and getting at each other's throats.
Uh-huh.
And they don't have a solution.
Yes.
Now this is what you've been saying is exact truth.
The solution is that
Power of sexes.
power of sexes, the battle of sexes. Relationships don't run
No, they
on
don't.
power.
No.
They don't run on who's the greatest.
No.
They don't run on money either.
They don't run on money, any form of power.
Yeah.
Relationships actually run on humility.
Thank you.
You get it?
And
So
they're
I
living.
prefer you above me.
Yes.
That's how I love. I prefer you above me. So if I prefer you above me, I'm able to humble myself. I'm able to be kind. I'm able to be forgiving. I'm able to give you an opportunity to open up. So
when
there's
you-
no power
when-
struggle.
when-
There's no who is bigger than the other.
When you love me above yourself,
Yes.
you have to keep reminding me how you love me above yourself.
In fact, I don't have to.
Because-
the reason I keep reminding you is because I don't even do it.
Ouch.
Yeah, you see,
Yeah,
saying
it's
it
a-
is one thing,
Yeah.
doing it is another.
No, now-
if I do it, I don't remind you.
Now, you go home and you take Robbie's shoes from the doorstep, put them where they are today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other day you were with Miles. You're doing your thing, and
Yes.
she's actually putting her feet up, and you're telling yourself, "Oh Lord, I'm suffering long." On Wednesday, you tell Robbie, "For 2 days,
I've been picking your shoes.
I've been picking your shoes.
Oh my God.
For 2 days, I've been with this boy." As if he's not your son. "For 2 days, I have picked the kids from school.
You
2
see-
days, I've made you tea."
You see, Winnie, the challenge is this. When a man begins telling you, you see, this is
Isn't he
the
putting you
Baganda
above
have a
himself?
saying. Huh?
Isn't he putting you above himself? And he's reminding you that, you see.
No. That is, you see, there's a difference between charm and love. You see, most of the cowards know how to charm,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to love. That's why in 2 days he's already complaining over
He's tired.
something he claims
Yeah. Because
he
love
does
is,
out of
love
love.
is patient.
He doesn't have the patience.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. He's probably doing it because he's expecting something in the night.
You
You're
see-
gonna say,
you see,
"Give me
listen,
something," and
listen.
then that's why he does what he does. But then there's no love. So with love, there's no complaining.
For the husbands out there, most of the times, they do things not out of love, especially the nagging men. They do things because they expect a result.
Now, when the result doesn't happen
Now,
in the night,
when the result doesn't happen,
what happens in the
nagging.
morning
they
to the men?
have a meeting in their minds, and you know that what they call it, those meetings that are instant, those cabin meetings,
The board meeting.
those board meetings, and he
With
tells
yourself.
himself, "I need to control the situation."
Uh-oh.
You see, for nagging,
He's so afraid it's
it's
getting out of
transition.
hand.
The
Yes.
insecurity is so deep, and it
Absolutely.
stems from the cultural background.
Yes.
And the man immediately thinks to himself, "I need to control this situation."
Now, why is it that when I sleep with you, you don't nag the next day?
Well, it's because
Oh my
If
God.
you've been nagging,
Oh my
nagging,
God.
and I just...
men have turned sex into medication.
Now, when you take sex as medication, you'll never get healed. Oh man,
It's
you're
like
gonna
it's
be
like a
an addict.
prescription.
You-
1 times 2.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I have not taken. You know, so he will nag you, control you, belittle you, and then he remembers.
Until he
I need
gets
to
medication.
take. I need to take my.
Then I remember that I
Medication.
have to
My medic-
medicate him.
Yes.
Oh,
And you see, women have also
oh,
become.
I love this.
Yes.
Look at this.
Yes.
Then she remembers,
I've got
I have to medicate him.
Yes.
Now, you see, now yet you believe you're controlling her.
Yes.
But look, she's medicating you. Now
She's
who is
playing
in
me.
control here?
Listen,
After the
my
medication,
God.
by the way,
After the now look at this. Dudes, you
I have-
better
I have-
wake
I have-
up.
I have had a-
Who's in control here?
there's a scenario of a man who nags. He's picked you from work. He's literally causing you to think worse about yourself.
yes.
Gets you home, beats you down with words,
Yeah.
makes you feel unworthy to a point that control is easy. Remember, a dictator wants to scare you as much
Yes.
so that you give up your rights.
Yes.
You become like Esau.
Because you're never designed to be dominated.
No.
So he has to first beat your power to dominate.
Exactly.
So that he can.
And so what they don't understand is that over time, like how you prepare a bomb,
Yeah.
you put in the nitrates, I don't know, the first, whatever they put in a bomb, and it's brewing, ready to explode.
Yeah.
These women know how to soak it up,
And prepare the bomb.
but they don't know how to deflect. So they will soak up this pressure from this nagging man. Remember,
At
he's
C4.
belittled you. Secondly, he's taken away the will for you to even think beyond yourself,
Yes.
to think ahead of what happens. There are men who probably tell their wives, "You're not going to work."
You're not good enough.
No,
Who
not
would
even
hire
that.
you?
Not even that. He knows you're good looking.
But if he
Oh,
can
guys.
disempower you,
Yes.
then he can have his way in your life.
Exactly.
And that's how he does it even when he's gonna have sex.
Exactly.
He first lets you know you're worth nothing so that you may not say no. Time
There are
is
men
running.
who will even call their wives. "Hello? I am on my way. I'm 10 minutes away. Can you go to the room? I'm coming." She has gone to that point
That's domination.
because the man, she's even scared.
Now this
That is not love.
When her family calls and says, "We wanted to come and visit this Saturday. We wanted to make something happen at your place. Can we come?" I can't.
That is not love, because you've dominated a woman,
Yes.
but you who is dominating her,
But then I need to
you
ask
are
you,
more insecure.
where do you get the energy to even make love?
No,
Sex?
no, you
where,
see,
where?
they don't have the energy.
I need to sit in that chair
You
and
see,
the
if
men
you
sit
if you
here.
if you listen, if you negate yourself from love, it's more of the fear that works.
True.
Fear,
Absolutely.
insecurity, fear, all the other things that are not love. So
Begin
you
to
don't
happen.
mind, you don't even sense. There is no relationship.
Affection doesn't
There's no
work.
affection. It's
No.
There's a
medication.
hierarchy.
It's medication. I've objectified you.
Yes.
And when a man objectifies a woman, it's over. He will never
But
see anything else.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you don't take the medication and say, "Today, let me run mad. It is okay. I am not going to be medicated by this woman. Let me get to the root of this."
No,
Thank
you see,
you.
if
Now,
you're an object,
that is what.
if you've been look, listen, if you've been objectified,
Oh my God.
if you've been made an object, everything on you belongs to me. That's the thing
Exactly.
about naming. If I
Exactly.
named you, everything about you is mine.
I reduced you to the level of animals. You're an object.
Yes.
I
Which is
objectify
wrong.
you. You're
Absolutely
nothing. Everything
wrong.
you have is mine.
You cannot
My
say
God.
no. How do you say no? A nagging
Now,
man.
our time is
My
first
God.
spent. We just need to stop it here. You know, it is always just so good. Let me just take seconds and, hey, Brian, say something to the viewers in the camera.
Hey,
real quick.
The man watching me right now, I want you to know that nagging does not correct. Correction entails love. Correction has to come from a love perspective. If you're willing and obedient to listen to what I'm saying, you will have your home running fine.
Hey, thank you so much. Winzy, tell us.
Nagging comes out of insecurity and fear. And when you fear what you don't know, man, I don't know how to help you. But then again, there is one thing. God is not a God of fear.
No.
He's one of love, of power, of sound mind. He doesn't give us timidity. And when you embrace him, he sits on the inside of you. There should be no fear. So perfect love should run not on fear.
Amen. Thank you so much. You had my usual suspects, Winsy and Brian. You gotta know, real nagging is absolute nonsense. And hey, dudes, rebuke all fear out of you right now. I want to say there is love. Real men love, and it takes courage, okay? Remember, marriage is easy, but ignorance is hard. And hey, prepare April 13th. I want you to book April 13th. Take it out, because Unlocking Marital Bliss is coming where you are. Just get ready.